Hey guys, what's going on? It's your boy, the Mad Tiger, and it's been a while since we've done a proper video on the channel. I apologise for that. I have been uploading a few of my streams here and there, but I kind of dropped the ball recently. But I've got something pretty cool for you guys today. Today I'm going to be talking about some World War II themed video games. Now, one of my biggest subjects growing up was history. I absolutely loved learning about World War II. I loved watching the documentaries on them. Loved watching the films on them. You know, I grew up with my grandparents who were in the World War II. So you know, video games of World War II as well have been a big part of my my history and gaming and stuff. And I've got to say, you know, when it comes to World War II games, you know, there are a ton of World War II games, especially in the mid 2000s. World War II games were like the big thing. Recently, World War II games haven't been as frequent. You know, there's been a few World War II games in the past couple of years, but nowhere near as much as there was. So, without further ado, we're going to get into it. I've got a bunch of PlayStation 2 games, some Xbox 360, and a couple of PC ones. But first up, I wanted to tell you about some like trilogy games. Most of the time, World War II games tend to be first-person shooters, but there is actually a great market for strategy games in World War II, especially real-time strategy games. For example, I've got this War Games trilogy pack here, which includes Desert Rat, Mokbar to Berlin, and D-Day. Again, I don't know how good these are. These might be good, these might be bad. When it comes to like PC games, especially as a hit and a miss, sometimes they're really good, sometimes they're not so good. Strategy games can be done really well if they have the right, you know, the right developer behind it and the right, you know, budget and stuff. Other times they're just a little bit like, not so great. But if you're looking for World War II strategy games, the PC has hundreds of them. There are so many on PC. Again, a lot of them you can get on Steam and G2A and GOG and stuff like that. But just be aware that there's a bunch of multi-packs and things you can buy as well. Definitely check them out. But if you're talking about World War II strategy games, I cannot stress enough the Company of Heroes series. This series is excellent, and the good news is if you have Steam right now, you can get all of the Company of Hero games, including the DLCs, for like £15. I got them all on sale because of Sega's sale. But the Company of Heroes games are excellent. These are some of the best World War II real-time strategy games. I haven't played much of the DLCs or the second game yet. I've only played the first one. But when I played that game back in the day, I absolutely loved it. They are really, really good games. I really recommend them. And of course, each game, you know, each game added like new things to the game, and a lot of that these like this is a opposing fronts here. This doesn't actually require the original game. So, but again, if you're looking for get them on Steam if you don't have a physical disc drive or something. But yeah, highly recommend the Company of Heroes series. One of the best strategy games out there. You know, it's like Dawn of War but World War II. Again, there's a lot of first-person shooter World War II games as well. There's one called Crimes of War. I remember playing a little bit of it, but I don't really remember too much about it. But just goes to show that the PC does have a load of World War II first-person shooters as well. Just if you're looking for something, just do a bit of research. Even if you go on Steam and just type in World War II games, I'm sure you'll find a bunch of them as well. But the reason I thought I'd show some PC stuff as well, just to show that it's not just console. Here is a really, really good package here, and that is the 10th anniversary Medal of Honor. This includes the original Medal of Honor, Allied Assault, Breakthrough, Spearhead, Airborne, and Pacific Assault. I believe all of the games on here, apart from Airborne, are exclusive to PC, so you won't be able to play... and this even comes with like a soundtrack and stuff. It's a really good package. Some great stuff on this one. So yeah, that's really cool Medal of Honor was a really well-known World War II series. Unfortunately, it sort of died off. They tried to do a Modern Warfare style, and then it just sort of died off. But this is a really good package if you do want a bunch of Medal of Honor games. Medal of Honor is still available on consoles. I think the last one was on Xbox 360, was European Assault, or Airborne, one or the other. But these are great World War II shooters. I haven't actually played any of the ones on here though, mind you. I do need to get myself a disk drive. Yes, we cannot talk about World War II games without mentioning Call of Duty. Now, I've actually recently been playing Call of Duty World War II and having a great time with that. I'm going to play some more tonight, do another stream on it. Really enjoying it. But Call of Duty originally started on PC as a World War II game, and not many people really talk about the original, but there were 4 Call of Duty games released on PlayStation 2. The original was called Finest Hour. Now, just be aware that this game actually wasn't the original Call of Duty. A lot of people get it mixed up and call this Call of Duty 1. This actually isn't. This is a standalone game that was exclusive to the consoles. This one was pretty cool because you got to play as the Americans, the Russians, and also the British. I don't think I've actually ever played the Finest Hour, actually, mind you. I might have, but I can't remember if I have. I'm going to need to go back and replay some of these and see if I do remember them. But Finest Hour was where it all began on console. Then we got Call of Duty 2, Big Red One. Now, this is funny because there was actually 2 Call of Duty 2s, and I'll get to the other one at the end. But Big Red One, this game was actually really cool as well. This took place, I think, mostly in, like you had like the Italian and the French campaigns as well in this one. This one had like jeeps and aeroplanes and stuff. So, but just be aware that the original games on PS2 were mostly single player games. They did have some multiplayer online, but for the most part, these were just single player games. And it just goes to show that, you know, Call of Duty went from being a really well-known single-player World War II franchise to this huge multiplayer games with obviously the new one on the way soon, Cold War. Then we had Call of Duty 3. Now, this game was also released on everything else, actually. This was released on... where the fuck did that other game go? This was released on Xbox 360. This was released on everything. Call of Duty 3 was, in many people's eyes, the last traditional World War II game in the Call of Duty franchise, because afterwards they sort of went into the World War II, the Modern Warfare came next and stuff like that. But yeah, this was a really good one as well. This game did have multiplayer. This was the first to use that sort of multiplayer that we known Call of Duty multiplayer to use for. But Call of Duty 3 was a really good one as well. It had American campaign and even British as well. I believe there was also Canadian as well, and I think there was a Polish mission as well, but that was a tank mission. And there was also Call of Duty World War Final Front. Now, of course, we know Call of Duty World War was released on the Xbox 360 and PlayStation 3. But not a lot of people realise that they actually made a standalone version for the PlayStation 2 and I think PSP. And I think also DS. But this version of the game was actually, in many ways, a dumbed down version of Call of Duty World at War's campaign. But actually, it was slightly different. There were some things in this that weren't in the other version of the game. So actually check this one out. It's not amazing. The original World at War is much better, but it just goes to show that there was actually another World at War released on PS2. And this came out in like 2008. So this was a late release for the PlayStation 2. But yeah, it just goes to show that, you know, when it came to Call of Duty, they really favoured the PlayStation 2 for their World War II games, because none of the Modern Warfares came on PS2 or anything. So, yeah. Speaking of Medal of Honor, We also got a bunch of Medal of Honor games on PlayStation 2. They were released on Xbox and I believe GameCube as well. There was actually 4. I do have the 4th one somewhere, but I couldn't find it. So the first one was Medal of Honor Frontline. This was actually one of the most well-known World War II shooters back in the day. This basically takes place around about D-Day. But this was a really, really good game. This one didn't have multiplayer or anything. It was a standalone single-player game. But it had 19 missions. It's a really good game. I highly recommend Medal of Honor Frontline. If you're looking for some World War II single-player games, the Medal of Honor games are some of the best. But the one that I grew up with was Medal of Honor Rise and Sun. Now, this was really interesting because, for the most part, World War II shooters were mostly against the Germans, but this was one of the first World War II shooters that I actually played where you fought against the Japanese. This game takes place after Pearl Harbor. I believe it starts in Pearl Harbor, and this game was absolutely amazing. It had a single-player campaign, a co-op campaign, and it also had online and offline multiplayer. I spent hours playing the multiplayer back in the day with my brothers. Really, really good game. Had bots. If you're looking for a much better version of, if you're looking for a really good multiplayer World War II game, a couch co-op game or something, Medal of Honor Rising Sun is absolutely fantastic. Really, really good game. I highly recommend it. There was also European Assault as well on PS2. I do have it, but I couldn't find it anywhere. So if I find it, you know, I do have it. But there was also Medal of Honor Vanguard as well, which I really I can't remember if I actually played this one. It says 1 or 2 players, so this might have had co-op campaign as well, actually. If it did, that's pretty cool, actually. But I might have played this once or twice, but again, it just goes to show that Medal of Honor stuck around for a little bit on PlayStation 2. This was 2007, so it just goes to show that it stuck around for a long time. Another series that actually started on the PlayStation 2 was the Sniper Elite series. Of course, we know Sniper Elite is still going strong today with Sniper Elite 4 recently come out a couple of years ago. But Sniper Elite on PlayStation 2, this game is absolutely amazing. It's a really, really good game. However, it is very challenging. This took this sort of style of World War II games and really changed it, because in this game, it's not about, you know, taking out every enemy that you see. This game's all about, you know, being stealthy, you know, being a sniper. You're in one position, you kill an enemy, you need to move away so they don't find you and stuff. It was a really, really good game for its time. I played it once or twice, and I really enjoyed what I played, but it is very challenging. Just be aware that it is a challenging game. Another World War II series that was also on the PlayStation 2 was the Brother in Arms series. There was Road to Hill 30 and Earned in Blood. Now, this was Ubisoft's, you know, versions of the game. This game is actually really cool because these games had co-op campaigns as well. But these games are actually based on true stories as well, believe it or not. What's really cool about these games is these games play more like something like, you know, Rainbow Six, but it's Ubisoft anyway, so you know what they're like. These are more like squad-based World War II games. They're first-person shooters, but of course you have like squads and teammates and stuff, and you have to like use like a suppression tactics, and enemies will pop in and out, and you have to keep them under fire and stuff like that. These are really, really good games. It's a shame really that Brothers in Arms sort of died out. You know, I would love to see a new Brothers in Arms game. I think they would do really well if they did a new Brothers in Arms game. Then we get a couple of sort of standalone World War II games that weren't really part of a series. First up, we had Prisoner of War. This game is basically a game that sort of takes place in like I think like a war camp or something like that, and you have to sort of escape and stuff like that. More of a stealth-based World War II game, but it just goes to show that there were a few sort of stealth games in there. As the saying was, pilot down, enemy under fire. This again is a similar thing. It's sort of like stealth. It looks like you've got like some flight battles in here. Sort of reminds me a little bit of the Mission Impossible game on PlayStation 1. Kind of an interesting one there. Then we also have The Great Escape, of course, based on the movie. I don't actually remember. I played a tiny bit of this game, and I couldn't really get into it. But I imagine if you can play a bit of it, it will start to get a bit better. It starts off like as a stealth game and gets into more action and things. But this is actually based on the movie, I believe. Then we have Return to Castle Wolfenstein. Now, this kind of is a World War II game. It kind of isn't. Wolfenstein's been around for a long time, but Return to Castle Wolfenstein is sort of more what I like to call an alternative World War II game. So Wolfenstein games are still going strong to this day, and of course these games are sort of basically it's kind of like basically what's happened is the World War II turned out a different way. The Germans actually won World War II, and you're basically trying to fight against them as a resistance and stuff. Of course, we know Wolfenstein and stuff like that. But I actually remember playing a little bit of this game. It is a pretty good game. There's a lot of different sort of robots and monsters and things. So it's an alternative World War II game. So if you're looking for something a little bit different than the usual, D-Day, Pearl Harbor stuff, check out the Wolfenstein series. Here's another one that I've never played. This is called Commandos Strike Force. I believe this is based, it seems like you're, I don't really know much about this one, but it seems like it's more of a, it seems like in this one you can have like different operatives to switch between, so another sort of like tactics one, I guess, but it is a first-person shooter. Then we have a couple of tank games. We have World War II Tank Battles and the very good Seek and Destroy. This game is basically like if you played Road Trip but with tanks. It's similar to that. Again, these are really fun games because I don't really know much about this one, but it just goes to show that it wasn't just soldiers, and there are a bunch of plain World War II games as well, like Blazing Angels and Secret Weapons over Normandy. I do have them. It's just they're all over the place. But just be aware that if you're not really into first-person shooters and you like flight games or tank games, there are plenty of options available set in World War II. So it's not just a single thing. And I believe there are a few like ship ones out there as well. So if you're into the sort of like warships and stuff. Then we have World War II Soldier. This just looks like another sort of budget World War II game. Again, there were a bunch of cheap World War II games made as well. So, it weren't just, your standard stuff. Then we have Commandos 2, Men of Courage. This was originally a PC game. This is like a mix between a tactics and a real-time strategy game. I played a little bit of this one, but I couldn't really get into it as much because, again, I don't know. I'm not really big on strategy games on console. I find them to be a little bit turned off. And then last but not least, we have the Xbox 360 variants and things. First up, we have Turning Point Fall of Liberty. I wanted to like this game because this is another alternative history World War II game. This is a similar thing to Wolfenstein, is if Germany won the war, basically, and you're basically trying to turn the tide almost. I remember playing a little bit of it, but I couldn't really get into it. Maybe I'll give it another go sometime, but if you're looking for something a little bit different in World War II on Xbox 360, Fall of Liberty is kind of a cool one there. I never talk too much about outfit because I can talk about this game for ages. This is a must-play on Xbox 360. Such a hidden gem. Basically, it's a World War II game, and you have these different characters to play as. It's a third-person shooter, but you can almost have like a real-time strategy element to it, in which you can like call in weapon drops and tanks and turrets and things like that. I'm not really doing a good job explaining it, but highly recommend the outfit. And then, of course, Brothers in Arms did actually make its way to the Xbox 360 with Hell's Highway, but I believe this was the last one in the Brothers in Arms series, and unfortunately, it just didn't do that well, unfortunately. It's not a bad game, it just didn't feel like the previous games. It just didn't have enough oomph behind it. And then, of course, we have the other two Call of Duties. Now, Call of Duty 3 I already talked about. The same game on Xbox 360. Again, it had multiplayer and Xbox Live and stuff. There was also Call of Duty World of War, which I do have as well, but again, I couldn't find it. But there was actually Call of Duty 2 on Xbox 360. Now, this game actually wasn't the big red one. This was a standalone game on the Xbox 360, and it might be on PS3 as well. I don't know if this is actually a sequel to the original Call of Duty on PC, or this was a standalone game. I really don't know. This was made by Infinity Ward. But yeah, this was a really good one as well, so I highly recommend this as well. So there we have a bunch of World War II games. I could go on talking about World War II games forever. You know, World War II games, they still exist today. Like I said, I'm playing Call of Duty World War II, which I'm really enjoying. I've already beaten the campaign. I highly recommend Call of Duty World War II's campaign. It's gorgeous, it's beautiful, very violent, but really good. I'm playing the multiplayer because I'm actually enjoying playing the Call of Duty World War II multiplayer. So I'm going to play that tonight. I don't know how many more days I'm going to spend on it. Just want to play a couple of nights on it. But you know, it's also Heroes and Generals on PC, which is a free-to-play World War II online shooter. I could go on about World War II games forever. Just be aware that there are hundreds of World War II games out there. On pretty much every console has at least one World War II game. I just wanted to share with you a bunch that I happen to own. Let me know in the comments below which ones are your favourite. And of course, if you enjoyed this video, feel free to leave a like. I apologise for the lateness of this video, but I wanted to do one today. And of course, let me know in the comments below what some of your favourite World War II games are. Would you like to see World War II games they could come back? Oh yeah, there's also Battlefield 5, and the Battlefield series had some World War II games. And of course, subscribe if you haven't already and join the family. And as always, follow me on Twitter and Instagram at The Mad Kiger, and Twitch. I will be streaming tonight at 7 PM with some more Call of Duty World War II. We'll probably jump in, do a couple of games of war, and then we might just play some team deathmatch or domination or something, and try and level up some more weapons and things. But as always, have a nice day, and I'll see you in the next video. Take care, and bye-bye.